Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. I only recently became acquainted with a company called Sweet Baby Inc. And as I have learned more about this particular company, unsurprisingly, it's not particularly popular, especially after their shadowy operation was thrust into the spotlight. But before proceeding, I'd like to ask everyone to please like this video, please subscribe to this channel, and please press the bell to receive notifications. Thanks! So what exactly is Sweet Baby Inc.? Essentially, it appears to be a video game consulting company located in Montreal, Canada, whose services could probably best be described as sensitivity readings of video game content. If you're not familiar with what a sensitivity reader does, it's typically someone who's paid to read a literary work with the intent of identifying content that they deem to be offensive, contains stereotypes, or is otherwise biased. Then the reader creates a report for an author or publisher with suggested changes. Thus, so-called sensitivity readers are themselves biased, with the strong possibility of also being self-important, self-righteous, and highly judgmental. Sounds like a great combination, huh? So I'm sure you can probably already see where this is going to be heading. And I'll just cut to the chase and say that Sweet Baby Inc. is essentially a company whose sole purpose is to push woke identity politics into video games. And their website is quite clear about that, though it doesn't use that exact description, but it also doesn't provide any data to demonstrate how their services have actually benefited their video game company clients. And they do have a lot of clients and have influenced the content of a lot of video games, including one that has been a huge disappointment since it was released on January 30th, 2024, which was just over a month ago. And that game is entitled Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. But let's take a look at their website to see how they describe themselves. Founded in 2018, Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. Oh, really? Well, right there we can see variants of two big woke identity politics buzzwords, diversity and inclusion. So let's see what else is on their website by scrolling down a bit, and we see services. Let's read it. We believe you need diverse voices to solve diverse problems. So what exactly are the diverse problems? Have a majority of gamers been complaining that video games aren't woke enough? I doubt it. Sweet Baby Inc. provides narrative consultation at any stage of development, boasting a talented team with vetted industry experience to best bring your story to life. So essentially what Sweet Baby Inc. is saying here is that experienced video game companies are too incapable and too stupid to bring their own stories to life as they have been doing for 4 decades. Well, isn't that good to know? Does this sound tantalizing yet? Does this make you want to just run right out this minute and hire them to help you run your business and livelihood because they're so much smarter and more talented than you could ever be? It's such a delightful sentiment to know that they see themselves as being better than any video game company could possibly be. But let's keep going by seeing what their approach is. We begin with an all-hands review and discussion of the project material. Everyone at Sweet Baby sees your project and shares their thoughts, feelings, and ideas. And what feelings would those be exactly? That's what I explained earlier in the video about sensitivity readers. They decide what's potentially offensive, stereotypical, or biased without necessarily providing any factual data to back that up because their personal feelings and biases are far more important. We do this because it kicks the project off with a multitude of perspectives, beginning a conversation that ensures the work is richer and more resonant before it's even put to paper. Yes, folks, Sweet Baby Inc. uses their diverse employees to scrutinize a video game company's project and tell that company what they feel about it and what that company needs to change in it to comply with their personal woke identity politics ideology. And if their consultation services are all based on their feelings, not logic or scientifically gathered data to justify their claims and decisions, have video game companies' historical successes been based purely on feelings? Is that how the video game business works, to be so easily persuaded into believing Sweet Baby Inc.'s grift? What we haven't seen is how Sweet Baby Inc. services are going to increase a video game company's profits. And we're not going to see that because they don't provide that kind of data. But let's keep on reading. We then create and complete narrative deliverables by keeping the player in mind, with a focus on user experience and emotional design. Sounds like interior decorating. Gamers either like a game that they're playing or they don't. Aesthetics may impact that, but game glitches, repetitiveness, and the overall gaming experience is what's going to affect that. What's relevant here is whether a majority of the gamers playing a game like it so that the video game company that produced it can make a profit. That's the bottom line. And pushing woke identity politics messaging into a video game is probably going to adversely impact most gamers' experiences while playing a game. But that apparently doesn't matter to Sweet Baby Inc. because they don't provide any numbers to show how their efforts have actually benefited the games that they have worked on. We aim to consult with honesty, transparency, and a conversational approach to help find the best direction for your project. Honesty, transparency, where is that? Where's the data to prove Sweet Baby Inc. is actually providing a valuable, worthwhile service? While their website is incredibly vague about what they do, there's a video of the Sweet Baby Inc. CEO giving a presentation at a game developers conference in San Francisco, California in March of 2019, telling video game company employees what they should do to obtain Sweet Baby Inc.'s vaguely defined services.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups, and if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
Go have a coffee with your marketing team and terrify them if they don't give you what you want. Now, I don't know what those of you who are watching this video are thinking about her remarks, but if you were to ask me, that sounds an awful lot like she's telling them to bully their coworkers. Now, is that the sort of thing that companies encourage their employees to do? No employer that I have ever worked for has ever encouraged their employees to bully each other. In fact, most companies typically have employee codes of conduct, and more often than not, employees who bully other employees may find themselves suspended or terminated for having done so. So the Sweet Baby Inc. CEO was essentially encouraging video game company employees to violate their employer's codes of conduct, to bully their coworkers in order for her company to be hired for their consultation services. Is that how she defines honesty? Because that has the appearance of being highly unethical. But do you want to know something? Bullying is exactly how the woke identity politics activists operate. They successfully bullied Hollywood in 2015 and 2016 with the Oscar So White hashtag on social media that eventually got the Academy and Hollywood studios to bend the knee to their demands. Woke identity politics activists on social media in 2020 and 2021 helped to convince Disney and Lucasfilm to fire Gina Carano and smear her name so that she couldn't get other acting jobs. Are we seeing a pattern yet? Part of it is the end justifies the means. Let's jump down to this section on Sweet Baby Inc.'s website called Representation. We believe that representation is key to connecting players and audiences, and we offer a few ways to help your team and project gain the perspective needed to make it happen. We're part of an inclusive and knowledgeable community of diverse consultants able to cover a wide range of cultural and sensitivity topics. There's that word sensitivity. I knew it would show up eventually. And cultural? That's just another word for tribalistic within this context, and it's central to the woke identity politics ideology. Our approach leads with the creation of joy in marginalized players and seeks to be additive rather than strictly corrective. So back on their main page, Sweet Baby Inc. wrote, "We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone." So what are people supposed to believe about their actual stated purpose when their own website states two completely contradictory goals? Creating joy in marginalized players isn't creating joy in everyone. Is that being honest and transparent? I find it deliberately misleading, potentially dishonest, and by no means transparent. And what exactly was it that forced Sweet Baby Inc. into the limelight after existing for the past 6 years in the shadows? As it turns out, a Brazilian user on Steam decided to create a curation page that lists all of the video games that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on and labeled them as being not recommended. Well, those self-described sweet employees of Sweet Baby Inc. didn't like that apparently, and one of them decided to try and initiate a cancel culture mob on the social media platform now known as X to get the critical curation page taken down and for Steam to ban the Brazilian user for exercising his freedom of speech. But guess what happened? X, which is now owned by Elon Musk, temporarily banned that Sweet Baby Inc. employee, and that critical curation page on Steam has just under 200,000 followers as of the time that I am recording this video, and it's been growing rapidly from nothing over the past few days. In other words, it's the Streisand effect. So the Sweet Baby Inc. employee who tried to cancel a Steam player only got themselves canceled. And in the past year or so, thousands of video game company employees have been laid off from multiple companies. And for every video game that the companies hired Sweet Baby Inc. to work on, that was an increase in cost to develop those games, which meant that those games needed to earn a lot more money to break even and be potentially profitable. Further, the more money that was siphoned away to pay Sweet Baby Inc., the less money that was available for developers to use to do things like fix bugs and create content. And the less content and the more bugs that an expensive game has, the less popular or desirable it's going to be with gamers. That's what happened with the game Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It no doubt cost a lot of money to pay Sweet Baby Inc. for its services and to make the woke changes that they wanted to see in it, while the game itself was reportedly very buggy at launch and lacked adequate content, but has very repetitive gameplay. Many gamers hate it and are asking for refunds. The fact that it has repetitive gameplay suggests that they didn't have the money to create different types of gameplay, and we know that part of the money got siphoned away to pay Sweet Baby Inc. This is one of the best examples of what happens when studios and video game companies spend far too much of their money trying to appease the woke identity politics mob, while spending far too little on content that could have potentially satisfied audiences and game players. In other words, it's another example of the saying, go woke, go broke. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.